So please tell me about the hits and misses here at the North American International Auto Show.
Hi, we have plenty of hits this year. We have two all-new full-size pickup trucks. We have a Chevrolet Silverado and a Ram 1500. They are both successes in a little bit different way. They both bring new styling and new design to the market and to the segment, brightening it up, freshening it up, but they have very, very different personalities. Silverado and 1500 are not going to be confused for one another. One is a little bit more rugged and a little bit more sturdy, and the other one is a little bit more aggressive and a little bit more fun. Both very interesting products. Both of them have some of the similarities. They both have lost a lot of weight as we go for better fuel efficiency and fuel economy going forward. Both of them have much larger interiors, which means that you're happier with the interior space, and they were able to do it without cutting into the bed space. In fact, the Chevrolet was able to increase its bed width by about 7 inches, which allowed them to make the back of the bed a lot more usable as well as a little bit bigger. Another real success story here is the Infiniti Q Inspiration sedan. That's a sedan that explores Infiniti's future exterior and interior design, and it's not only really well done, but they're really looking and thinking hard about what kind of changes you might want to see in that sedan package in the future.
Okay, very good. Now, Ford also brought their Ranger and their F-150 diesel version, correct?
That is correct. The F-150 diesel version is just a new engine in that lineup, but it gives them a good competing point against the outgoing 1500. We do expect that the new 1500 will ultimately offer a diesel. In fact, Chevrolet also announced that the all-new Silverado will have a diesel as well. So what we're seeing is that all 3 light-duty pickup trucks, they will all have a 6-cylinder diesel in the next couple of years, which is a new opportunity.
What do you think is the reason for that? Just to get higher fuel economy, or?
It's higher fuel economy for sure, and that's the strongest benefit for that. Diesels also work really well in pickup trucks because they have a lot of torque, and torque is what pickup trucks need. We said Ford Ranger is coming here. Ford has re-entered the midsize pickup segment. Let me correct that. Ford will enter the re-enter the midsize pickup truck segment. The Ranger that they showed today goes on sale early next year.
Okay, very good. Now, are there any big surprises here in your opinion?
It's really disappointing, but no. We really didn't have a lot of surprises this year. There was plenty of information coming out before. Lots of products here that are real important for the brands, for their volume. The pickup trucks are clearly very important for all 3 of the brands that are coming out. Volkswagen showed off their new Jetta. That's Volkswagen's highest selling car in the United States. Kia's Forte is here as well. That's another C-segment sedan that is high volume for Kia. So we've got a lot of products here that mean a lot to brands. They mean a lot to profitability. They mean a lot to brand image. But it's not like last year when we had the all-new Kia Stinger and some of the sexier kind of low volume but high impact products. Yes. One that we did have that was a surprise was Mustang has announced a 700 plus horsepower version of that car, which clearly has the Charger Hellcat in its sights.
There's also a lot of new SUVs here, and that trend continued from the LA Auto Show to here.
Consumers have gravitated towards utility vehicles. That accelerated pretty tremendously in 2016 and 2017. Interestingly, we do have some new SUVs here. We have a facelifted Jeep Cherokee behind me, or to the side of me. We also have a facelifted Ford Edge here. One of the things with the mix of SUVs versus cars here is it's kind of split. So we have a Nissan Cross Motion concept exploring the next generation Juke. We have the Lexus LF1 Limitless, which explores a potential new Lexus larger SUV entry. The Lexus LF1 Limitless one, that feels like a very evolutionary step for their SUV formula in contrast to the Infiniti Q Inspiration, which was a sedan, but also is not evolutionary. It moves that brand a whole lot more forward than the Lexus does. But I mentioned a couple of sedans that we have here, and really I feel like there's a kind of a balance this year between the number of cars and the number of SUVs this year.
And what about electrics? Because Ford announced an investment that they're going to be making, while here at Fiat Chrysler, Sergio says he's not too interested in that.
No, Sergio, let me start that one over. What Sergio Marchionne really said is he's interested in making sure that he comes up with a product that makes money. It's not so much that he's not interested in EVs. He questions the profitability of that segment. Ford's announcement was an expansion on an announcement they had before. What they've done is increased their commitment and made it a little bit further. What's happened is automakers need electrified vehicles and pure electric vehicles to meet future regulations, and that's going to take investment, and that's where Ford's announcement came from. In terms of products at the show here, we don't have any new EVs. We do have the GAC concept is supposed to be a new EV, but we don't have new production EVs right now. We do have one of the hits on the Ram 1500 is it now will have what they're calling e-torque, which is a mild hybrid system which uses a starter generator instead of an alternator, and it improves fuel economy, but more importantly for the truck application, it gives you a boost of torque at acceleration. So whether that's accelerating from a light or whether that's towing things, torque is one of the things that's hugely important for trucks, and so that system has an opportunity in this particular application to incredibly increase consumers' drivability and increase their satisfaction with the vehicle.
Okay. And what about autonomous or self-driving vehicles?
That was all last week at CES. Yeah, no, seriously, the CES show was really where we talked a lot about autonomy, we talked a lot about technology, and really at CES automakers talked about what their plans were for the future. We're in a state right now where autonomous vehicles are in development, and plenty are on the road testing. We're still a couple of years before they're going to be in fleet sales, and even a few years after that before they're going to be in consumers' hands. So in terms of launching new products at each auto show that have the technology, we're in a little bit of a quiet, I'm calling it a gestation period, while we develop this technology. So the news that we will see right in the next year or so is going to be incremental news. It's going to be news about what automakers plan to do. We're still waiting a little bit to see a lot of the product news.
And talk to me about CES and their impact on this show. I mean, is it still a major auto show?
I think that it's a much broader question than CES versus Detroit versus launching a car on Facebook. What has really happened is that automakers have a lot more platforms and a lot more opportunities to come out with new news. This means they have flexibility to make sure they pick the platform that's best suited for the news that they have. It is changing auto shows. It is. I'm gonna have to. I'll come up with a good break, I think, for you. But it is changing sort of the types of products that we see at different auto shows. It is changing the number of products that we see at different auto shows. Detroit this year, we did not see automakers have press conferences just to give us an update on their financial health. What we're seeing is automakers are using press conferences for actual news, and they're not feeling obligated to have a press conference simply because we're in Detroit in January.
And how many vehicles are you forecasting will be sold this year?
IHS Markit forecasts 16.9 million units for 2018, slightly down from 2017, but still a really healthy year. And more importantly, the economy is in decent shape. Consumer confidence still remains pretty high. Consumer credit remains pretty easy, so it's a healthy environment for the market.
All right.